Good morning and welcome back to our class. I hope things go well with you all. Now in this third week after the COVID-19 outbreak arrived in our country, WFH or work from home has become a new reality. Like it or not, we must do things differently. That's exactly what we want to accomplish with our 12th class, teaching English as a lingua franca. We cannot meet in person, we cannot gather in class, and we cannot hold a direct meeting. The question is, what are we supposed to do in the next half semester? Well, in principle, we will hold one big thing, namely critical self-reflection on assumptions. This term has come from transformative learning theory by Csra. He started his research on adults returning to education in 1978. For a couple of decades afterwards, he refined his theory. One of his renowned foundations for adult learning is the importance of reflection. Adults are found to learn differently compared to their younger counterparts. Adults come to class with a lot of world knowledge. When they return to college for further studies, they do not necessarily add new knowledge, or more appropriately, technical or informational knowledge. Much more importantly, Csra argues, is that adults learn by critically attending to their own beliefs or assumptions. Meaning to say, learning is a matter of questioning own beliefs. By definition, critical reflection refers to the process of questioning one's own assumption, presuppositions, and meaning perspectives. So instead of believing that their own understandings, assumptions, and beliefs are 100% correct, adults learn to embrace different perspectives of others. So here comes the term Csra, critical self-reflection on assumptions. And this is the graphic done by Csra and Instructional. And we are going to talk this later for further conversation. The next question is, how does Csra come into implementation? And this is what I intend to cater in this class. Let's start with 3 keywords as follows. They are teaching, English, and a lingua franca. By definition, teaching is to impart knowledge, or to inherit knowledge, or to instruct someone as to how to do something. Teaching also means to cause someone to learn or understand something by example or experience. The next term is English. The definition of English is the language of England, widely used in many varieties throughout the world. And the last thing is a lingua franca. It is a language that is adopted as a common language between speakers whose native languages are different. The key issue that we are involved in this graduate program is to question what we believe to be true. Do we have the appropriate attitude to teach? Have we gained appropriate training to teach? Are we skillful enough to teach? Or are we really good a role model of English learner? In order to answer all those questions, we need to continually engage in learning. So one of the class goals is to ensure that by the end of the class, students will be able to teach English skills to different groups of students. In order to problematize those 3 keywords, teaching, English, and a lingua franca, here are 3 things that we need to accomplish in the next 1.5 months. First, we are to implement our own learning based on the 9 high-yield instructional strategies that work. Second, we are to develop a set of personalized learning agenda in the next half semester. Third, we are going to write a portfolio report of the personalized learning agenda. So what is the 9 high-yield instructional strategies at work? So Marciano, Pickering, and Pollack in 2001 conducted a number of meta-analysis studies on a variety of instructional strategies. They came up with 9 most effective ways of teaching. They made use of effect size, a kind of statistics to measure the degree of effectiveness. The rule of the thumb is, the higher the effect size is, the more effective a certain instructional strategy is going to be. So here you go, the 9 most effective instructional strategies that you need to learn and practice. The first 3 are identifying similarities and differences, summarizing and note-taking, and reinforcing efforts of providing recognition. The rest is certainly your task to study on your own. But before we go further, let's pause a moment. Let's take a quick review of our ITU class last semester. We utilize compare and contrast all the time. That is exactly the first instructional strategy, identifying similarities and differences. The next thing to do is to make our own agenda. Let's review the table. First, we still have 8 more meetings to go. And you need to fill out what the topics and instructional strategies that you want to fill in. We started from April 8th up to May 29th. So you may ask me what topics will we cover. Here's a couple of things to consider. First, in terms of the topic selection, you need to raise thematic or integrated issues. It means that you are free to pick up what you are interested in. And I would assume that the topics must be relevant, contextual, and interesting. Second, the learning materials include a variety of sources. So it means you may pick up videos, textbooks, or text, or podcasts, news reports, just to mention a few. You may add more lists on it. Third, it should be made clear that all the learning activities cover all 4 language skills: reading, writing, speaking, listening, as well as 3 language components, namely vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation. And the fourth one, the difficulty levels must vary, ranging from the simplest ones to the most difficult ones. Again, the most important thing to remember is you have the freedom to pick what works best for you. So by the end of the class, you are to submit a portfolio report. Detailed guidelines and rubric will follow. So, thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay home, and stay happy. Bye-bye.